Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Cover from Tweak Music Tips. We just had a show with Mojaxx and Cleveland Terry where we went over the new Numark Mixstream Pro DJ controller. We even had In Music Brand's own Jake Hill to give us a live demo with live viewer Q&A. Also, if you guys have any questions on the products or comments, please make sure you add it below in the comment section. If you find value in the video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell notification so it alerts you when we have any new videos. All right, well, enough of the chit chat. Let's jump into the video.
All right, cool. So this is the Numark Mixstream Pro. The main features of this, first off, it has the built-in speakers with a dedicated volume control. They are, since we're, in music brands, we have multiple brands. I always say we're like the Taco Bell of DJ brands and equipment because we can take all the ingredients and combine them together. So we take the Akai speakers and we put them in the Numark Mixstream Pro. So they're the high quality speakers. We did have the Party Mix Live release. That's been a couple months ago. Those are different speakers altogether. These are high quality drivers custom tuned by the Alto guys. So they're made just for this Mixstream Pro. And of course, as Mojaxx and Cleveland Terry were saying, it does have Engine DJ on board. So it runs off of Engine DJ software. It's not skimped down. It's the full featured software that you would find in any DJ gear. The one thing that's a little different, I would say the only difference I've noticed is that on, let's say, the Prime Go, you have the additional effects that you can access through Engine DJ. Here, they're on board in the center section. And so, full featured, all of the DJ features, cue, save loop, auto loop, and roll. The thing that gets people a little tripped up is that it's not just 4 cue points. You just hit the cue mode again and you drop down to 5, 6, 7, 8. So the big thing, the namesake, is that it's a streaming controller. So it's Wi-Fi enabled. I'm connected to my my shed Wi-Fi right now. And then you can just jump into the streaming menu and access. We're adding more as we go on, but right now we have Beatport Link, BeatSource Link, SoundCloud, Tidal, and even Dropbox. So right now I pulled Tom Jones off of BeatSource. Big shout out BeatSource for including a lot of Tom Jones. Look at all these.
The best service.
Look at all these. These are all Tom Jones on BeatSource. I don't know. So and then what's really cool too is not only can you just access those streaming services, but you can sync your library to Dropbox. And so right now I have a music library that I exported from Engine DJ on the laptop, and I just hit that and it says, boom, your Dropbox library is now accessible. So, and here it is. Like, this is all my, I'm still looking for Tom Jones. And then it's all the tracks in my Dropbox. So like, it's that quick. And then you just like swipe it over, it buffers in. So if you're worried about dropouts, as long as you're patient enough to let it buffer in, you're good to go. So that's the big thing. Also, what's really dope about the controller is that you have 2 USB inputs on the back. Let's see, go front. You might be able to see it. 2 USB inputs. I have a Soundswitch dongle right here, and there's an SD card slot. So you can export your entire Serato library, record box library, whatever, with Engine DJ and plug it in the back, and then you'll have access on the screen. So if you're not fully into streaming or you're not super comfortable with it and you want to just supplement, you totally can just by loading up a terabyte SD card now with your entire physical library and access it on the Mixstream Pro, but at the same time jump in and out of your streaming services. So if you get a request or whatever and you're like, let me check out BeatSource for Tom Jones, and then you can just add it in meanwhile you're playing your saved media. So I mean, really cool. We were talking about Soundswitch, and I agree. I'm the same way. I was not like super familiar with Soundswitch until I started playing with the Mixstream Pro. Honestly, it has the lighting integration, and here it is right here. So I've got Philips Hue. I've got some Hue bars here, and I've also got the DMX hooked up. So I just moved the Crossfader over, and it goes to another track. And I have full control over everything. And let me see here. So like, this is like basically a scratch track that I put in Soundswitch, and I use a different color for every sample. So I have an override. Hold up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yo. It's a little bit loud, Drake.
Oh, sorry, guys. Better?
Much better.
That's
Yes.
more like it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I mean, and the cool thing about the Mixstream, everything is tied to the faders, up faders and crossfader. So if I'm faded over here, you see the lights, they just went to this track. And if I go back over here, they're in this mode. So yeah, so it's responsive. It's really cool for just like adding a whole new element to lighting. Like Mojaxx says, it makes it like super simple and fun. And the nice thing too, since I have my Soundswitch, these tracks were scripted with Soundswitch, so there's like a Soundswitch profile loaded to the unit when I loaded those tracks. If I go into Beat Source or any of the streaming services, and I'll follow the beat grid. So whatever track, let's see, let's pull up. Oh, let me get back, sorry. Let's go my playlist. Like here is a Mixstream Halloween mix I was working on. But I can just drag this over. And then the lighting will auto chase with the beat grids once it loads in. Yeah, that's not a good one.
I'm just an average man with an average
and
life.
It just chases with the beat grids. So I didn't script
I pay the price.
these streaming tracks or anything. So no matter what you pull off, as long as you have the lighting engaged
but
going,
why do I
it's gonna
always feel
chase to it
like
and
I'm
give that light show for whatever you play. So yeah, I mean that's it in a nutshell. I mean all the controls are there. The pitch slider here, if you want to manually beat mix, but some people are saying, oh, they're so short. Well, you can adjust the pitch range all the way down to ±4. So I mean, you've got super fine control. And what's really cool, it goes all the way up to ±100. So yeah, paddle effects in the middle. These are, like I said, 4 static effects for now. But it's not outside the realm of possibility to add additional effects because it is running the Engine DJ software. So yeah, I mean that's a quick rundown. It's a dope controller. The jog wheels, they work pretty well. And the crossfader, I was a little hesitant on the crossfader, honestly, when I first got it, but then I realized I can just adjust the curve right here. And for what it is for a MIDI crossfader, it feels really nice. And I mean, you can do basically. I think you could do any scratch on it. Yeah, and there is a computer port too. Right now, we just use it to update units and things like that. But it's in there to future-proof it if we do decide to make it an actual controller for software. But as of right now, it's completely standalone, no laptop. I heard you guys talking earlier about the laptop discussion, and there's no worries. That's what I love about this. It's like I started with like the dual CD decks and vinyl, and then laptops came, and it was like, oh, this is amazing. And then it's almost like we're going back in time to like not having to worry about the laptop, and I love it without having to lug the vinyl. So when I first got this controller, like to demo, I was like, all right, I grabbed it. I was like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna figure this out. And I was like, which laptop should I grab? I was like, I'll grab my MacBook Pro. I think I have the most music on there. I was like, wait a second, I don't need a laptop for this. So like we were so ingrained with the mindset that we have to have a laptop when we DJ. It's just exciting that all in one at this price point comes in and like shakes things up.
That's so good. So we got some questions. So shout out to DJ BYP Dipper. He says, who is this for?
Oh, I have a few answers for that one. So definitely for a beginner, it's like the best beginner controller you could get, because if you want to buy a say you have a laptop and it may work, but most likely a beginner will want a new laptop for their DJing. That's going to be almost the entire price tag of this. This thing is $599. So not only do you have to buy the laptop, then you have to get the music. Well, this thing ships with streaming offers, trial offers for all the big ones, BeatSource, Beatport. I think it's like 2 months each on each of those for free. And you don't have to use them at the same time. So you can be like, oh, my first 2 months of DJing, I'm going to use BeatSource. My next 2 months, I'm going to use Beatport. You could basically almost have and we have Tidal as well. So you have multiple offers. So a beginner can pick this thing up. It has everything they need, no laptop required. And it even has the built-in speakers for their practicing, or even if they just want to, like casually listen to music. So for a beginner, for sure. For a wedding DJ, I think this thing, you could DJ a whole wedding with it, no problem. It's got XLR outs and RCAs. It's got a single 1/4-inch mic input on the front. But to me, when I DJ weddings, I like to use turntables and a rain mixer and do the whole thing. But this would be awesome as like a secondary controller or a killer backup or a ceremony music, player. I'd put an entire library on the SD card and keep it off to the side. I'd run it into the line in of my Rain mixer. And then if I get a request, I hate connecting my laptop running Serato to Wi-Fi while I'm DJing because it has that. Sometimes it'll have that weird hiccup. My apologies, Serato, if you guys fix that. But there'd be a time where it would have the delay. Does it? Yeah. Okay, good. my point is well taken then. So I hate doing that. So I always leave it off Wi-Fi. Now, if I have a request, I can just connect this to Wi-Fi and download it here and play it from there on session in. To me, for any wedding DJ, it's a no-brainer for a backup. $600. I mean, come on.
I think it's funny when people are like, "Oh, look, everybody's doing Mixstream reviews. What the coincidence?" Like, it's not a coincidence. This is what they do. This is
I wish
how
it
you
was.
market. Yeah,
I wish it was a coincidence.
This is how, and look, especially nowadays, especially with COVID and all the the things being canceled. Like, this is how you market your products right now. It's through influencers. It is what it is. But when he sent me the information, I just couldn't stop thinking about like how, oh my God, it gives you everything you need in a box. And yes, besides a couple of little quirks that every piece of hardware has, there's no perfect hardware anywhere. For most people, they're going to find that, especially if you're just starting out, that this is all you need. And they may not even need to move up unless they're trying to do bigger things. But like, I need lighting. I got my lighting effects right here. I need audio. I need a booth monitor. I got my booth monitor. Like, everything you need is right here. I'm more excited for the future of in music, and I will say that as a whole because we are all sharing, parts from here and there. But just the idea of what this is kind of sets the roadmap for potential future things. Like, I don't know, like if there was this in my Rain 1, I mean, it might be a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's all of these possibilities for the future that I'm really excited for. I think you got a good idea going here.
There's one thing I want to say about the about the Mixstream, which it's all love for Pioneer here, right? I'm sat here in front of a pair of CDJ 3000s, right? It's all love, right? It's all love. I love you, Pioneer DJ. I love you, but
send us our stuff back.
No. But the day that the FLX6 was released,
oh God,
I reckon they were popping bottles in music headquarters because they must have known this was coming for $600, and then Pioneer DJ released their just a regular controller with no XLRs on it for $600, and it's like that suddenly, the Mixstream already looks like a bargain, but if you compare the two, my word, like just a different amount of stuff that you're getting in that box. It's just completely different level. And did you ever review the FLX6, Cleveland?
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, you did it. Yeah, we I didn't review. I just did a first look.
Call back Pioneer for months.
Yeah. So it's like
it was to a point where I actually had to call my Pioneer up, and I'm like, "Are you sure that I got a good model? Like, I'm noticing all of these little quirks," and they're like, "No, it was a thing." So it is what it is.
Not they don't get everything, all these companies every now and again a slight misstep here and there, but I just thought, that's when I was looking at the Mixstream Pro, I was like, $600, that's a lot for a beginner device, right? And then I'm like, actually it's really not, because that's what an FLX6 costs, and that's aimed at bedroom DJs as well. So $600,
no computer needed.
And the thing is as well, I'm here in the UK, because of the currency conversions and so on, the Mixstream Pro here is 500 quid. Like, when you say it at 500 quid, that's a bargain. Like, sounds like even more of a bargain than $600. Like, £500 for that Mixstream Pro, and they are going to fly off. I mean, I know they're already flying off the shelves because my guy, Mike at Phase 1, not far from me, he got like a whole stack of them in yesterday. They're flying out the door already because £500 for a fully integrated DJ system. We've never seen anything like it. No. We've never seen it. It's taken it to a whole different level, completely different level.
Well, anywhere you would play music for people, basically, is where you could do that.
And anywhere you'd play music where you're dealing with high heat situations. That's a big deal for laptops. That's why everybody's like, I need a solution, because we all got outside and then all of our Macs started freezing up on us. So that's why I'm DJing primarily with the PC, because of the heat. You don't have those heat problems with kind of these onboard systems.
Well, that'll teach you to live in California. Yeah.
Exactly. No, you're right.
Come
You're right.
come to the UK, bro. Come to the UK. I'll try to keep it out of the rain. I mean, that was something that happened to me not that long ago. I DJ'd at the finish line of the Great North Run here in the UK, which is the biggest half marathon in the UK. Like it's a huge, tens of thousands of people do this half marathon around Newcastle where I live. And I was DJing at the finish line, and I took the laptop and I took a Numark NS6 II, which is a great little workhorse controller. And I also took the Prime Go, and it started to just rain. Like, it rained pretty much all day. It wasn't like heavy downpour. It was like spitting with rain all day long. And so I ended up putting the laptop away because I didn't want that to get wet. And I put the controller away, and I DJ'd. It was like 8.5 hours from the Prime Go. And between mixes, I would put the deck saver on top to like keep the rain off the top of it. And like, that's where this all-in-one thing really comes in, because you're suddenly getting rid of a load of cables. You don't have a laptop to worry about, your $5,000 laptop, worrying about that now. Yeah. You've got an all-in-one device that will do the whole thing for you. So whether it's a Prime Go, a Mixstream Pro, whatever it is, like, all-in-one is definitely a good solution for so many situations, especially when it's light and it's portable. You know, it's great. I love using turntables too for gigs, and Serato and Phase and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, sometimes that all-in-one life is the way forward. It absolutely is.
See, that's two great scenarios, right? The rain and then the heat. Because who thinks of that? Like, you don't think about it, and then you're like, wait, when would you use that?
10 years ago, I was using turntables. I think I was using a Rain 62 mixer. Had huge Sherwin Vegas subs and you know, PRX JBL tops with bi-amplified, because they were all passive speakers. And then I remember one day we were performing at a Beverly Hills place, but it was one of those torrential rains. We don't get a lot of rain in Southern California, but when we do, it's like a nightmare. And they had their party tented outside in their mansion, right? And we get in there, and it's kind of raining, but there's water falling all over the place. And we're set up and we're DJing. And I turn back around. We're set up on a platform, and turn back around, and there are uplights around the entire room. There's so much water coming into the tent that I'm on the platform, but I look back, the uplights are underwater, and it's just filling up this place. Yeah, but they're still working. They're still working. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, you know, fast forward 10 years, there's no way I'm bringing that kind of stuff. What's my scenario? Oh, no. I'm bringing this. I'm bringing a smaller thing. I'm bringing something easier to navigate, easier to manage. My backups, like, I keep my Denon Prime Go in a case as a backup. I bring it every single event. It just, even if I don't even touch it, it just sits there for the oh shit moment that I got to swap out. You know, so I think if anybody's ever buying just kind of that perfect scenario device, it doesn't exist. Because you're going to always need more than just that device. You know, so people are like, oh, that's just a toy. No, it's a backup. It's a backup. And a backup is designed not to be your prime situation. It's designed, I'm at my house. I'm working on mixes. You know, I got it sitting out. If something goes wrong with it, you know, I'm not really worried about it. But you still need that super system that you use on a daily basis. But as a backup, the size, the weight, the feature set, like, I'm looking at this like, Jesus, I need to run my lights off of this thing. I might have it set up on the side and just have it there plugged in.
Let's talk about the speakers, the onboard speakers.
I think the most important thing with the speakers is setting your expectations. Like, I mean, you're not going to do a wedding with this. And even if I did accept that garage after party if I had one of these, I just wouldn't have handled it. But for what it is, though, I've had these out by the pool. We had some friends over, and I was like, oh, hey, let me just, you know, test it out in a real case scenario. They're great for that. I mean, they're great for that. They're great for in here. When I'm, you know, working in the studio here, I'll put on a playlist and just let it ride with the speakers. Or like Mojaxx was saying, it's great for like music prep or, you know, just practicing your mixes. And what I really like is if I'm doing like an overhead cam mix with like recording it on the iPhone, it's good for the audio. I don't have to set up another speaker because I don't know who else uses like Premiere Pro to, like, you know, synchronize audio and mixes. I'll record internally on here, save that audio file. I'll have my video file from the camera, and since I have speakers built in, I have the actual mix. So then when I line up the footage with the mix in Premiere Pro, boom, menu synchronizes. So same thing for if I were a live streamer, but nobody wants to see that, so I'm not. But it would be great for that. You could just set up your cell phone, especially if you're just starting out, and not have another speaker hooked up, and it would sound great. So the technology behind it, there are actually four, I guess you would call four speakers. Two are actual speakers and two are bass radiators. They're in there to kind of give it the resonance it needs to have that deeper low end. And so if you go on like the Numark website, there's like a exploded view of it. You can kind of see what they look like, but one's tilted slightly and the other one I believe is straight on. They're angled differently. So they're tuned just for the mix stream. And they sound good for what it is. I could play something. I don't want to mess with your copyright strikes though, Kova.
Do like
he doesn't care.
Do like a loop or something where it's a drum intro.
Here we go. We'll do this Halloween Breaks Room beat source. Yeah, I'm gonna turn down my main out, so you shouldn't hear it coming through OBS, but you should hear the speakers.
Okay, cool.
Very scary.
That doesn't sound bad. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
it's full. It doesn't kick you in the face. It's just a good full sound.
I'll show you something I think is really neat. Okay, so I have on the lighting screen. There's an advanced mode and then there's a simplified mode. I know it's a little blurry, so bear with me. But you can see I have moving heads on each side, right?
Okay.
This reminds me of the old Chord Chaos Pad. Now watch this. I can just like XY these babies. Just like, whoop, let me grab them.
Oh, that's super cool.
And so why you would do that is like, okay, this is, all right, this position, this is the dance floor center. Say I'm at a wedding and I know that's where, they're going to be. So then when I'm back in my lighting views, I can hit this button, dance floor center, and my lights go boom. They lock right there. So, I mean, that is just like some of the crazy technology that is just jammed in this super affordable controller. And then, you have the overrides here. I can like white everything out. I can strobe, and I can adjust strobe rates and things like that. So
good. Could you also show them the 4 pads and how you can, because when people say, oh, there's only 4 pads.
All right. So you see this cube mode is lit up right now.
Yep.
So that's 4 Qs, and I just hit it again, and now like it's open. So if I wanted to just add them, I would just add them.
It's really loud again, Jake.
Oh yeah, sorry, I had that channel fader all the way up.
Jake's
that is
about
my
that
bad.
life.
Yeah, that was out of 6. You don't want to see me out of 10. But yeah, so it's just again, you just hit the button again. So if it's blinking, you're on the second layer, and you can see that on the screen for like save loops, auto loops, and rolls. The division, like right now, auto loop, it's lit up once. I have 4, 8, 16, 32 beats. I hit it again. The divisions, it's a quarter, half for 1 and 2. So actually, the same thing holds true with the Q. You can see it on the screen: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and then I hit it again: 5, 6, 7, 8. So, and even on like roll, you can be rolling and and then you can still adjust. You can hit that second layer.
No one Shungulus asks if the DMX profile isn't in the list of the factory presets, say an off-brand light, can you create your own DMX profile in Soundswitch?
You can, but I will say that there is a ton of profiles. Quick story: we were filming some videos for like the launch, and I was at a studio here in Tampa, and we had like the Philips Hue lights set up, but they had all these Astera Titan tubes,
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, we got to DMX those things up for this. And so, yeah, it had like so many Astera profiles already in Soundswitch. It was astounding. And like these color strips are super old. I mean, probably 10 years old. They're in there. I mean, if you haven't checked out Soundswitch, download it for free and look at all the lighting profiles you have. It's insane. It's most likely in there. And like Cleveland Terry has that gig bar. That's like one of the default profiles now in Soundswitch. So
it's really impressive. It's honestly probably, if anybody was on the fence with the gig bar, because I have some issues with the gig bar, but I will say, convenience and with Soundswitch, it's a whole different light. It's just set up. You don't have to do anything. I didn't have to think about it. I just plug it in and go. That's something to be said.
The thing to bear in mind about the fixture profiles is that Soundswitch has now been around for quite a few years, and at this point, all of these generic Chinese off-brand fixtures, one mobile DJ or another has asked Soundswitch to add those into the fixture list. So they're all there, like all your U-Kings and all these B-toppers and all this stuff. They're all in there. And if they're not in there under that particular brand name, they're in there under a different brand name. Like there are so many. Like I've got one particular completely off-brand Chinese older moving head, and I've got that there. And I've got that, the fixture profile is under a completely different name, different model, but I know it's the same one because I've seen the pictures. It's got the same channels, so that's how it is. Like, they're all in, and if they're not, you can just email Soundswitch and they'll add them to the list for you. It's fine.
This is my fake Chevet Freedom Par Hex. No name, but it works. It works just well. The only issue is that on a couple of channels, it's just a different light, a different color, I should say, than what it is. But I will be contacting you guys or looking in to see this because that'll make my life easy. It's all about making life easy now. Like a lot of people want to get in there and manually do everything, and fine, more power to you. I don't care about that. I just want it to work. I just want things to be easy. And if Soundswitch is going to provide me with that ease of use, that's what I'm using. It's just, I know. I don't know what happened to Mojaxx. He literally turned into a robot.
Mojaxx, you got to check your audio. You got to check your audio.
Oh dear. Am I back now? Am I good?
No, still robot.
Still robot. It's
Mojaxx.
I think it's the wrong mic. You got to check your mic setting. Reset it.
Mobot.
Mobot. Let's see 1 second. All right. So DJ BYP Dipper asked, how do you handle the VDJ arenas? Can it play video?
1 2 1 2.
Well, this does not currently play video to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But keep in mind, in music, we just acquired Archaos, which is a video jockey software for arenas, like a Resolume. And Archaos is like the original. So we have the horse in our stable where if we do decide to add visuals like that, we're prepared. So don't know anything yet, but I'm just saying right now there is not a VDJ application for this. There's no video out.
Check it out. So we have a video. I don't know if you guys ever saw the first time we ever had Mojaxx and Cleveland Terry on. I know we got Jake on, but I want him to see it. That's the only reason I'm gonna play it. Check it out. Mojaxx, what's up, brother?
There he is. You hear me okay?
I hear you good.
Intro music. I didn't get intro music. Was it like WWE? Where's my intro music?
So just so you know, that was supposed to be a plug. What up, Cleveland? What's going on, brother? We don't hear you, brother. We don't hear you. How fun.
Live streams, technicals, man. It's a constant challenge.
2 moments later.
For the pros, though, people who do this for a living, this stuff is involved process, and we're all kind of learning it on the fly. Still can't hear you, Terry.
More moments later.
No.
You guys put out tutorials that help people with live streaming, and here we are. Thanks for watching our video. Make sure you swipe left to connect with us on all socials. Also, if you want to catch us live, visit twitch.tv/tweakmusictips.
One quick tip I'll show you, which is really cool in here too. You can adjust it comes in handy with Beat Source or any track you download. It may get like auto gridded incorrectly. You can just hold down the scratch button. I don't know if you can see it on my right deck, but I'm moving the grid right now. So I can line that up like, oh, this should be, beat number 2, and just, there you go. And it even has the marker controls on the screen as well. So if you get a track, sometimes there'll be like an intro and they say, oh, that's beat 1. And you're like, no, I want beat 1 to be here. You can change it on the fly on this. And I didn't mention it earlier, but if you have an SD card or a USB inserted, anything you add to like any streaming track, like cue points, save loops, anything like that gets saved to your SD card. So as long as you have that same SD card in there, if you're doing a set with Beat Source tracks, it keeps all your cue points and everything like that. So You don't have to reset it up every time you're pulling a track down from the the cloud.
That's
So,
awesome.
Oh,
So-
and just just a quick note for people out there, if they do get it, it defaults to the smart scratch mode, and I know some people might either like it or not like it. I turn mine off, but it defaults to that kind of slip scratch mode.
So how would you load the beat source? I know you kind of went into it earlier, but just to kind of
Yeah, Beatport link, BSource link. So let me just get back to let's see. I'll flip to title because I'm not sure if I logged into title on this one, so you can kind of see the process. So like the first time you get this, it has that that authentication, just like Netflix or whatever, where it's like go to this link while you're logged into title on your and then it'll activate if you put that code in. So let me get back to the list, and then once you're logged into whatever, like I know I'm logged into BeatSource, so you just connect for your menu, and then it just goes to this like top level. And what I really like is you can go into curated playlists. And I think there might be a famous Mojaxx curated playlist in here. You might give it a second. Let's go back. Let's see. I know for a fact my playlist is ready to go. And then so you can search for tracks through top tracks, or you could search for albums or playlists. But right now, since I know it's all pulled up, ready to go, like I have all my BeatSource saved playlists here, and then I will just, as I'm on BeatSource, like looking through whatever for a mix, I just add them to the playlist. And then like, this is like I said, BeatSource Halloween earlier, or here's like a mix for October. And even like, I like just grabbing their 20, the top tracks for whatever. And I just save it as on my playlist, and then I access it. So this is all pulled down from BeatSource now. Key information, BPM, because it's tagged on BeatSource. And then it's just, you load it up, and then it buffers in. So right now I could disconnect from Wi-Fi and I'd be good through the end of this track once it's buffered in. So even if you were on you use your cell phone for a hotspot, as long as you can get that downloaded in like 3 minutes before your other song ends, you will be good to go. Like as long as it's buffered in, you're set.
Okay, so basically the playlist would have to be done already. Like it's not like you could search it on the spot, right?
No, you can. Well, the curated stuff. Let's see. Like right now,
the download that's the issue. Because the speed of the download, you can't load over something else. It has to download in completely before it'll play.
Got it.
Yeah, like here. So like, but what I do like here with the playlist, like if you were kind of struggling to find something, you could just dive in. Like here's the A-trak VIP crate. Here's Mojaxx's Funky House Vibes with an S, not even a Z. Come on, Mojaxx. But then you're set. Yeah, and so it's you drag it over. I have my there's like a protection on by default where you can't drag over a track that's playing. I just turned it off on mine. But yeah, it just will buffer in. It'll take a little bit. You can play it right away as it's buffering, but it won't beat grid until it gets all the way imported and loaded in. So
Got it.
that makes sense.
So 916 Junglist asks, can you add the songs Beatport, BeatSource, offline lockers in Engine OS?
I'm not super familiar with that side of the offline locker with Engine OS. So I don't want to answer that. That'll be something I can look up. We could talk and get back to you on that one. You can save it to Dropbox and have it that way for sure, but then it'll be loaded in and it still won't be fully offline. But Dropbox does have an offline locker too, I believe. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. We'll get back to you.
So Mixmaster GNL asks on availability. Is this in stores? When is it in stores, etc.?
Yeah, it's in stores now. This is like a show and ship launch, we call it. So they're ready to buy now. So just go to your favorite retailer, and ask for the Mixstream Pro, and they should have them.
Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you smash the like button and comment. In addition, make sure you don't miss any other interviews with some of the top DJs, producers, and artists from all over the world. If you like our content, please make sure you subscribe. And also, don't forget to hit that bell icon. This way you're notified when we release any new videos. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.